so short. And we can stand up. You know? Yeah, let me just. Hey, Chris.
I got you guys.
Okay, so it's saying that I'm not on Chrome. I forgot it works better with Chrome. So are we okay?
Well, it's working all right now. But if you want to jump back in on Chrome, you got time.
I'm on my iPad because my charger is in Seattle and I can't find the extra one because we tore our bedroom apart for the new closet. So when you get here tomorrow, I'm going to charge my freaking computer.
There you go.
God, it's horrible. Can't believe I did that. Anyway, George, come on in. Stand right next to me. Let me know when we're good on camera. So we'll put that. Let's just move that. You guys have a seat. Sit down and get comfortable.
Yeah, you want to just you want to see if George can sit next to you and.
Yeah, he's right here. See if you can you see him okay?
I can see him okay. He just looks like he's standing way behind you.
Oh, come on up. Lean up against it. How's this? Just lean. How's that? Is that better?
And then can you push the iPad away a little bit?
Yeah. Let's see if we can get it just a little further. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, that's better. And just scoot to your left.
My left?
Yes.
How's that?
There you go.
Cool. So what we're going to do, I didn't organize it much. I just want to have fun with them. We'll talk about when we met, how we met, come to work, how you didn't really have any detailing experience, but you're a car nut. I'm going to brag about you, really. You can brag about me too, though.
All right. Hey, maybe real quick, maybe either scoot to the left a little bit more or just angle the iPad a little bit just so we pick up George a little bit more.
There, how's that?
There you go.
We can get close. We'll touch. Honestly, probably get in touch with like kind of. There you go. Yeah. Reminds me of the old days. You're an asshole. God, Ricardo. Hey, make a note that we're kicking him out of the group. Ricardo's out of the group. Yeah, he's gone. He's toast. He's toast.
We make this connection last night.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, his wife and my wife both are gym rats.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know he has family
In your hometown.
Yeah.
Is that cool or what?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about like when you got to go on your first vacation, go see your mom. That was really that was really special for Diane and I, right?
Oh yeah.
That meant a lot to us, you know.
I mean, it was 13 years after I got.
Yeah.
To
You didn't get to see her.
You know, so
Yeah, it was pretty emotional for us.
Yeah.
We were pretty jazzed up. So okay, so 8 seconds. You guys look amazing. You guys, we're probably gonna have to you guys. We'll just have you come up and stand right between and play around. Feel free. Hey, we're sitting here chatting and it goes live. Morning, Chris.
Hey, hold on a second. There we go.
There it is. How's it going, guys?
I'm doing good. How about you?
You know what? We're pretty dang amazing. You know, the weather, I mean, I really don't care what the weather. I like all weather. Does that make sense to you guys?
Oh yeah.
I like it when I like to have the hot season, and I'm ready for it to go away. I'm ready for the snow to go away when it's snowy. But we've had monsoon season for the first time in Big Bear in a number of years. We usually get it. And we've had like 3 inches of rain this month so far, which for a lot of the country, that's not a lot. But for us,
it's a ton.
We haven't gotten any in a long time. And it's been, I mean, guys, did it smell good yesterday or what? It rained and it was like, and then we've got like 8 tons of wood chips that we just dumped on our property, for ground cover. And so they're pretty fresh wood chips, and then they got all wet. And it's like I go outside and I literally have like a nature-based orgasm.
We went to the airport yesterday, their little observation area, and had some frozen yogurt with the kids. And man, when you're sitting over there, you can see the whole valley really well. And the clouds that were out your way over the mountains were just insanely huge.
Wow, it was awesome. And 2 nights before that, it rumbled. I mean, it rumbled. We had thunder, lightning, heavy rain. I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to go. I had opened every window and door in the house, but there was rain coming into the house. And I was like, oops. So, I had to kind of fix that problem. So, hey, before we get going, I've got one of my favorite people in the world. And matter of fact, it's one of the individuals. I can get emotional at SEMA. That first person at SEMA that ever made me cry at SEMA. And so Jorge Espinoza's here, and introduce yourself real quick.
How's it going, guys? My name is Jorge Espinoza, and I live in Sun Valley, Idaho.
Yeehaw. So he's, I say this, we've had a lot of great staff members, and none of them we connected like we did with this gentleman. We were just close from the beginning, and here he is training with us. He's got a family, he's got all these things going on, and it's just really cool to see it. So before we get in, we actually have a training class going on this week. So you've met Jorge, but we've got a whole bunch of others. So we're going to start over here. Aaron, why don't you come over? They're just going to peek over. We're going to look like 2 big old boobs with our bald heads.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Cool, dude. We got a great class. They just finished up a lot of the marketing the first day, and then we jumped into interiors. We're jumping into sanding today, and God, they're killing it. So come on up, young man.
Who's next?
What's up, guys? My name's Ian Belcher. I am from Redwood City, California.
So you had last night, and explain why you're here. Who are you with?
I am working for P&S Sales. I just graduated from college, and I just started working there full time, so I'm getting some experience here.
Yeah.
What's your title at PNS?
Internet specialist is what Bob gave me.
So you guys that make orders and stuff like that, distributors, you're going to be dealing with him a lot. He's kind of I call him our culture king. He's going to make sure that our culture stays on point because he's young. You kind of had fun last night. What'd you do last night?
Oh yeah, I took Renny's STI up to a pretty cool summit. It's like a 20-mile drive. 20-mile drive. Super fun, twisty roads.
Did you put it in a sport mode?
I did.
Was that cool or what? It's fun. Yeah. I got that. I got the hidden camera. I had some weird substance on the steering wheel this morning. Right on. Who's next? He's a great young guy. So you guys are those that work with an order from PNS, you'll see a lot more of them. So.
How's it going, guys? Manny Aguilar, Hillsborough, California.
So do you go by Manny?
Yeah, it's easier.
Is it?
Pronunciation.
What does your family call you?
Manny.
Manny,
Yeah.
really? Oh, cool. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So he's another Cali boy. So welcome, bud. Right on.
Cool.
Pleasure, guys.
All right, get over here. So we got our intern.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to hear him say his name.
Oh yeah, right.
Shoot. Ricardo La Torre, Ogden, Utah, and so happy to be back to this little town. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
He brought his wife with him. You brought your family with you.
And happy to meet
You
this
brought your
guy.
family with you. So we're gonna increase the dinner one night and have everybody come over. So one of the meals. We'll do it when Chris is here. So
I think my son's gonna go crazy over your cars.
that's okay. You can. We let him play. We let him play. So, well, cool. So, hey, I want to jump in here real quick. This is a different kind of podcast because this is going to be able to go back. Jorge came to us when we had just really hit it big time. For a couple years, and I'll share the stories and then we'll get his perspective on things. And my message I want to send is, for those that own a shop, is you need to treat your people right. And for those that work at a shop, you need to treat your people right. Because relationships, I've preached it from the time you guys walked in here. This is proof that relationships are really important. And it's not, a lot of people look at the relationships with their customers or the people that pay them money, but your relationship with the people that work with you. And I say with you because not a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small business owners say, well, you work for me. No, they don't. They work for them. Nobody's ever gone to work for you. They work for their own needs. Let's face that. So you either create a environment of team, or you are going to have some issues. And so I want to kind of cover that today. So I'll lead into it, and then we'll get George's opinion on each one of these.
You know, real quick, I want to just throw in that there's a couple of times where I've said I work for you, and you corrected me and say you work with me.
Yeah, I've never liked that, you know. And here's how I didn't like that. It's not when you say it, Chris. I didn't like the way it made me feel when a boss said that to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I was like, dude, I will do anything in the world for you almost. And then you throw that in my face, you know? Does that make sense? And I try to always be, you know, somebody, a good influencer, a good, somebody that will help you grow in life and in business versus just somebody that you work for me, you know? Because it's on, I mean, this guy, you guys are going to hear it right now. He's gone on. He's done really well in life. And that's what our goal is. And so many people that when you employ people and you give people opportunity, it's a job. No, it's not. You want to give them opportunity to grow and expand and hopefully, you know, live their dream out. Now, their dream could be working for you, with you, or their dream could be to go out and build your own empire. I knew this guy was going to go out and build empires. You know, we could tell. And you know how I could tell? He had to go do it because he's got the personality to do it. And he's got the love affair for life. He loves people. Even assholes. We had asshole customers. And I remember he'd call me up. You know, we'd be going during the busy time. I jumped into the seat. I'd go back in detail in the real busy time. The rest of the time, he ran the whole show. There was a period that I didn't even walk in our shop for like a year because he had it. I didn't need to worry about it. I was out building our empire. He was king of that empire. Why am I going to go in and screw with the king of an empire? He knows the local ground. I don't. Even though I started it, he was better at it. You know, I told you guys a story. One of our chief, Tom Lentz. Tom was a really important customer to me in the early days. And then I went to Tom when Jorge came on with us, and I was kind of stepping into running, you know, the bigger insight. We had offices in Scottsdale and Texas and down here in California. And so I went to Tom and I said, hey man, you know, Jorge's going to take over 100% of all the service. And he goes, hey, nothing against him, but I hired you on to take care of my Porsches, and not real happy. And I said, well, hey, you know, here's the deal, man. He's as good or better than I am. He goes, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give him 1 month to prove himself, you know, because we touch his cars every week. So I go out there, and it's part of the story is this guy got to go see his mom for the first time in a long time. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And I covered the route for him, you know, with our best customers. And I got to Tom's place, and, you know, he looked around and he goes, hey man, where's Jorge? And I said, well, he's, you know, on vacation. He goes, hey, just wait until he's back. He didn't want me touching his shit. He'd gotten so used to this guy doing it that he didn't want me touching it. And some people, and here's the deal is you can tell an entrepreneur that's going to get in a little bit of trouble, you either got the wrong people or you got the wrong attitude. It's one or the other. Because when I walked away from Tom, I ended up doing the work. He let me touch his cars, although he pointed out I didn't do as good a job as he did. I didn't get my panties in a bunch. That made me very happy to hear that this guy did that good of a job. He represented us really well. I trained him well, and then he took it on his own from there. I trained him, and he did things differently. I didn't stop him from doing things differently. Is that I showed him how to do it, and then he would develop my method and then make it better. And if it wasn't better, I'd correct him. I don't think I ever had to, you know?
I think there was one time that you did, it was in a Porsche Boxer, and it was the beginning, and I hologrammed that Porsche. And you came in, and I was like,
uh-oh. What do I do? Those are learning times, you know, and you just can't get upset at it. You got to take it for what it's worth. So one day our kids were all little, right? And Darren wasn't even born yet. You know, our youngest one, she wasn't even born yet. And she's 17 years old now. So that tells you how far back it goes. My wife walks in. We used to live right around the corner, about 2 miles. Well, as a crow flies, about 1.5 miles away from McDonald's. And if you know, I hate McDonald's, but their soft serve. Our kids were crazy over their soft serve, right? So we'd always ride our bikes down there and get the kids soft serve a couple times a week. So Diane comes home and she goes, I found our next staff member. And I said, really? It's where at? And she goes, McDonald's. And I said, really? And she goes, yeah, you got to go over there right now. Go through the drive-thru right now. Go through the drive-thru. And so she explained, you know, what Jorge looked like and stuff. So I went through the drive-thru, and I you know, he greeted me, and I came back and I was like, God, yeah, dude's good. So yeah, but he's probably not into cars. She goes, nope, he's into cars. I already talked to him. And I was like, geez. So she kept going back, and she how many times did she talk to you?
I think she talked to me about 3 times before I decided to remove myself from McDonald's and go into your team.
And so you were pretty fresh out of high school, right?
Yeah.
So that was about what, 03, 04, somewhere right in there?
Yeah, because the night I graduated from high school, I was done with that place, and I was like, I'm going to Haley, Idaho, and make something out of myself.
Yeah. So kind of explain your backstory. Let's go back. So you were born in Mexico.
Yes, I was born in Mexico and came into the United States in 1997. I'm not ashamed to say I jumped the border illegally. Those are the names for my business, both of my business. And that way it makes me look back on where I come from. I'm really proud of being a United States citizen because this is my home now.
Mm-hmm.
And I live here with my wife and kids, and then but I also love my home country, and it reminds me every day where I was at and where I'm going to.
Absolutely.
And I once in a while I look back, so that way I can keep being the same person.
Yeah. So we met you when you were really young. You came over the border, and this was the amazing part. And I'll never forget. And I don't know if you remember this. The first day you came to work, I asked you if you were legal, and you said, "Yeah, you got all the stuff." The next day you came over, and you go, "Hey, I kind of said a white lie.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't have all my papers." I took a deep breath, and I said, "Do you want to get right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And it's cool. We'll help you do it. Mm-hmm. And we did. And he went after it. I mean, all we did was assist. Mm-hmm. And so, this is one of those guys that, listen, all of us are immigrants. I mean, every single one of us. My family goes on one side I'm the third generation. The other side's a little deeper, but actually, no, I'm the second generation. Yeah, 2 generations, my mom and me. And so, we all started there, and I love this guy's story, and how he came into it. So we hired him on, and literally about a week into it, we had 2 of our staff members decide to do a mutiny right in the shop when he's sitting there. He's hearing all this shit go down. They basically put the demands over to me of what they wanted to make, the hours they wanted to make, how much they wanted to make, percentage they wanted to make off every job, what they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do. And I said, cool. I said, hey, Jorge. He goes, yeah. So you want to be the shop manager? He goes, yeah. I said, cool. You're the new shop manager. And I trained him for right there. And you know what? He kicked out. Our other guys were great. They were great. Not as good as him. And my point to this is we didn't really like hiring detailers. This guy wasn't a detailer, although he was car crazy. He loved cars, right? And so we were able to take and mold somebody that had the right attitude and the right outlook into a fantastic technician. It's hard to do the other. It's almost impossible to do the other.
Yeah.
And so we just from the second we all met him, I mean, in my life, we bonded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we just were close, and it's like Chris and I, we've bonded. I mean, it's just this, it's solid. It just is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's rare that I don't talk to Chris every day. I try to leave him alone on the weekends and not stalk him, but there are weekends I talk to him, or when I'm calling him at 6 a.m, this morning, just setting everything up for today and all this and that. So now flash forward. So you're working with us. We've got multiple businesses going. You're to the point where you're managing it. It's some great stories. We had great customers. Oh, yeah. Sun Valley, Idaho. Tell them a little bit about Sun Valley from your perspective. Then I'll give them a little information.
Well, Sun Valley, Idaho is money. I mean, that's what that big money.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in there and they either love it or hate it because of the money side, and at the same time, everything's so expensive. But I mean, I've been there since 2003. I love it because of the community. Everyone is great in there. There's once in a while a few persons that aren't too great of a people.
Yep.
But you learn to brush them off your shoulders and just keep moving on your own way. The community is great for growing kids in there.
Absolutely.
Education. I mean, there's hardly any crime around there. I mean, just like anywhere, there's drugs and stuff like that, but there's hardly anything in there. And that's what I love about Sun Valley. Sun Valley is a dog town. I mean, and when it comes to detailing, you're literally going to have a dog in your car, because of all the dog hair and stuff like that.
The percentage of millionaires and billionaires per capita is one of the highest in the country. And yet the cars are some of the most disgusting cars. Yeah. I mean, you said it best. Is we have a Cayenne that these guys are going to work on. The Cayenne is the dog vehicle up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, that's like, hey, let's buy a Cayenne because it's not as expensive as the G-Wagon, and we'll take the dogs in the Cayenne.
That's the first one of the first things that kind of surprised me when I started working for you is when I started finding out that the dogs had better cars than I.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And they still do.
Yeah, and they still
do. They still do. And we dealt. And so when people say, "Oh, you don't know what it is," listen. Let me tell you, 80% of what we did success-wise, you got to remember this is all pre-coding. So coatings came into it when we're still in Sun Valley. But man, I was experimenting. Did you know? Let me tell a term. And this guy, you probably heard. Maybe Chris has heard it in the conversation. When the early coatings came out, we had a term called spider webbing. And the reason why is that some coatings, if you left the applicator on the surface too long and pulled it away, it looked like spider webs attached to the paint and the pad. It looked like, you know how rubber cement, when you pull rubber cement off something and it gets all stringy? Some of the coatings were doing that. Yeah. And so you talk about, I mean, trying to get rubber cement off of paint when you screwed it up. So this was before those times. You know, we were really cutting edge up there because we put sealants on, you know, we didn't put waxes. It was like, oh my goodness, you know? So the thing is too, is on any given day, we would work on these, you know, the $80,000 dog vehicles, but then we'd be down at the airport that night working on an $80 million golf stream.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dave, we both, the guy that got me started, that I had something pretty tragic happen. I had somebody take me for a shitload of money, and we literally overnight went from being in pretty good shape financially to our world caved in, literally overnight. And we already had the detailing planned out. You know, we were going to do it. I could see that there was something wrong. I could feel it in my bones. But we didn't plan on it happening overnight like that. And so Dave Morris, good friend of both of ours, started out, he was a friend of ours. Our kids went to school together. He flew for a family up there. He heard my plans of starting a detailing company aimed at primarily jets. And he goes, oh my God, you're going to kill it. I've got a plane. I hate cleaning it. Can you do it tomorrow? And we literally launched right then and there. Well, Dave is still a good friend of both of us and a client to you.
Yep.
Still. I mean, all these years later. That was in 1997, you guys. I mean, that's how far. So relationships, if you don't think relationships are important, I hope Dave watches it. I'm sending him a link to this, you know, because he's going to see both of us.
Yeah.
So you become a huge, you know, part of our not just our company, but our family. We watched you change. We watched you grow up. You're so young. Probably one of the proudest things was watching you become a citizen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and seeing that go down and how hard you work to make it happen. But I mentioned that Tom Lentz, you went on vacation. What a lot of people need to know is that probably the coolest thing, and I still talk about it all the time today, was watching you get to go see your mom in Mexico for the first time when you became a citizen. So kind of explain that. And when you told me that story back in the day, I went home and I said, Diane, we're going to help this kid go see his mom, you know? And so explain kind of what the story was around that and how long it had been and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, like I mentioned again, I came in the U.S. in '97, and then, I mean, I'm a hard worker. I came in the U.S. and then I stayed with my uncle and my aunt that they took place as my parents, Manuel Espinoza and Margarita Espinoza. They educated me, and then they kept, you know, telling me to work hard and stuff like that. I was working in the moving water lines, you know, and then I mean I knew it was hard for me being in the U.S. because being illegal, I could only do so much being an illegal alien in the United States. But that didn't stop me from keep on working on my dreams. So I always wanted to go to college for some kind of automotive. My main dream was doing body work, restoration, and stuff like that. But I knew I couldn't do it because I didn't have the residency card or social security number or anything like that. But at the time, I didn't know you could go and pay out of your pocket. So I just kept going, and then that's when I moved to Sun Valley and stuff like that. And then I started working at Mickey D's, and then went back to construction and so on, you know. And it was kind of hard, and I got the opportunity to start getting my papers and all that, and become a U.S. citizen. It wasn't an easy road to get here, but I mean,
You did it.
I did it.
You did it,
So
and you did it on your own. I mean, you know, we supported it, and I think that's another thing is that as a staff, you got to support your staff's dreams. So many people that are self-employed, they look at their dreams, but what about your staff's dreams? Don't look at them that they're. We always know our staff is better than what that we deserve. Does that make sense? And if you look at them that way, you appreciate them more. You know, and we looked at you the same way. We look at Chris the same way. I mean, I try to give credit where credit's due. And this kid, when he you know, I say kid, you're a kid back then, right? You'd come in and you'd say, okay, hey, I got this going on with my immigration. We gave him every opportunity. It wasn't a holdback. As a matter of fact, we pay him. You know, we just say, go, you know. So now you get to go on vacation. You're a citizen. And how you go down and see your mom for the first time in how long?
It had been 13 years since
Wow.
I came to the United States. I was explaining to these guys that when I moved to the United States, my youngest sister, she was only a couple of weeks old, and I had not met her in person until I went back to Mexico for the first time in around 13 years. And it was emotional because almost all my family members were waiting for me at the airport. My mom first, Lucia Espinoza, and then my brother, my sister, my grandma, and a whole bunch of other family. I mean, I can't really explain how emotional I felt coming back to my hometown for the first time in so many years, you know, after being in the United States and working hard to accomplish that first goal and dream.
But look at the sacrifice made to do that, to accomplish that goal and dream, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh my God.
not
You guys
seeing
are
your mom for
good.
13 years, never meeting your baby sister. I mean, it's, you know, people, that's not, you know, it's not a normal thing to have to do. And
yeah.
I don't think people really comprehend, you know, how much effort has to go into reaching the kind of dreams you had, you know, and making that big of a change.
Oh yeah, and it was big for me because single mother. She brought up five of us, two of us being males, and you know how we males are. You know, I mean,
Especially you.
and then I mean, going back to my mom and seeing her, and then because she had to sacrifice as well as me, you know, and going back
Oh,
to
yeah, it was a
seeing her.
two-way street.
Oh yeah, going back to seeing her, it was really emotional.
I got to Delaney. You remember Delaney?
Yeah.
And, you know, she's an officer in the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
and I just got to see her for the first time in a year. That was forever.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I can't imagine. And I know where she's at. I know she's safe. I know, you know, we talked to her. Your mom watched you go out on a journey that you guys didn't know what the outcome was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And your journey over the border wasn't seamless. I mean, this guy, we learned so much. And I think that's why the appreciation is because, you know, it's real easy for us as Americans. I don't care what, you know, I've got friends that are, we call them coconuts, you know, because it's pretty cool. I grew up in the Latino community. It's probably 70 or 80% Latino. But my grandmother, my mom and me, we went all to school with, so Ronnie Ortega, okay, one of my best friends. Our grandparents went to school together, high school, at the same high school.
Oh, really?
Our moms were best friends in high school, and then we were really close friends in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can tell you, the Bustamante family, those guys have lost that. You know, they appreciate that. I remember the Bustamantes every Sunday, they'd have dinner and they'd speak only Spanish. And I'd go over there as an opportunity because we spoke Italian. My grandma spoke Italian. And as my Italian side of the family died off, we didn't do it as much. And so I took, advantage of it because Italian and, it's Latin based. And so it would keep me active. And I just loved the culture difference. You know, it was so cool to see him. And they were real classy. You know, his dad had a really good job. And like they ate food that I didn't get to have at home. You know, and really good Mexican food, really good homemade meals. And, it was really cool to go over there. But so much of us have lost, to Chris's point, we don't know. Life's easy for most of us.
Yeah.
It really is. And now life's easy for you
Oh, yeah.
compared to what it was.
Yeah.
You know, you came through, but you paid a debt that a lot of people us that are born here, I don't give a shit what you say. We're on a 20-yard line just being born here.
Mm-hmm.
You were at the outside of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
You had to cross the end zone. You had to go all the way through that. Even the poorest people that are born here are born with more opportunity than what probably 80% of the world is, you know? And yet we bitch about it, you know? Yeah. So now flash forward. So we've had so many fun times. I've got to share some stories, couple stories. So the hologram thing on the Porsche was real. I remember him coming in and you tried to troubleshoot it. You're pretty new and it was, you know, sensitive paint. And, you know, we've got a Boxster of about that era.
Yeah, when I saw it.
You know why we bought that is two things. My BMX bike's back here. But a lot of people don't realize that Boxster saved Porsche, but it also made our detailing company because there at that time, you could be on the street anywhere in Sun Valley during spring, summer, or fall and see 20 of those. Yeah. You know, it was just a really popular car. So, you know, I come in and so I remember, and it wasn't hard to fix the car. And it was a learning experience. So that's one of them. I remember going down, having to heat towels up and going in at frozen airplanes and having to do interiors. You guys don't realize Sun Valley's in the Rocky Mountains. Yeah. You know, it's at 6,000, over 6,000 feet. It gets cold there. Oh, yeah. And we'd have to go in, they'd hire us on to do these jets. Well, some of the jets, they didn't have enough hangar space. So some of these big jets would sit out overnight. And then in the morning, they'd run the ground units to heat them up. But we'd have to heat our towels up, too, because it would be, 30 below zero. And so we'd have to go in, and the airplanes wouldn't be totally warmed up yet. So we'd have to warm our towels. I mean, we freeze our butts off. I mean, it was unreal. One of the most interesting stories I got to share is we're up at Boeing. And this is before we had, I was training and everything else. And it was just our teams working at Boeing. So I'm working over on one of the airplanes, and Jorge goes over to work on one of the other ones. And I said, hey, just so you know, that wing's really slick. We got done because you had to get up and fix a spot that we missed or something. So I told him, I said, hey, don't trust that wing, man. It's going to be slick. And he goes, no, I'm good. And I look over, and he's up on the wing. Not a big deal, right? And then all of a sudden, I see him go. He starts sliding down the wing, and I'm going, oh, wait for it. Here it goes. And he hits the ground. Yeah. So he comes, I go run over there. Are you okay? And he's like, he's a tough dude. He goes, yeah, fine. I look at his arm. Dude, your arm's busted. No, it's not. I'm fine. So we go back to work, right? And he never complained one time. So at the end I kept going over there. I said, dude, your arm's busted. We got to get you to the hospital. No, it's not. It's fine. So we get all the way back to Sun Valley a couple days later. And I'm telling him the whole time, your arm's busted. No, I'm fine. No, we're on the flight back. No, we're fine. And so finally, about the third day, he comes in the shop in the morning. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, I think my arm's busted. And I was like, you think? So he goes to the hospital. He comes back, and he's got a cast on. His arm's busted. And so I said, okay, well, cool. When are you going to come back to work? And he goes, I got my other one. He never missed a day of work. He just went for it. And so if you can imagine in today's society, what percentage of people would do that? Like 1%, 1%. It was just, it's funny now. It wasn't so funny back then, but now we look back at it, and by the way, I told you your arm was busted. I told you your arm was busted. But we had, it was interesting because 08 hits. So we had this, and I want to explain to people, and this will, I think there's a lot of people that are naysayers about some of the shit I come up with, but our shop in 07 was producing more money than all the current shops up there right now are right now. Is that we had that thing, it was a well-greased money-making machine. We were able to impact your life with money. You impacted our life with money. 08 hits. It got ugly because it was a huge aviation. We did a lot of aviation. And all of a sudden, nobody's flying. And it really slowed down. Diana and I had sold off in 07 our interest in Arizona and Texas, Florida. And it was only because we were just training had kind of taken off. And we owned a company out there that really burned me out. And I just had to get out of the valley for a little while. and my wife talked me into moving somewhere I didn't want to move. And it wasn't her fault. I say that. I shouldn't say that. But looking back, we should have never left Sun Valley. But then coming here, my mom was sick, and we were told basically she's got less than 2 years to live. So we came back to be with her, and she lived another 9 years. So how cool is that? So no regrets at all, because
your presence kind of made her
Oh,
live longer.
absolutely. And you remember she loved you.
Oh,
She was a cool lady. She loved George. She was just like, oh my God, he's so cute. It's like, Mom, stop it. It's like, Jesus, God. She's like, oh, it's just that accent. I was like, Mom, not Jesus. And you never know. My mom had lots for you, kind of. It's like, Jesus was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But we had so much fun. But now we sold the company, and it was pretty cool because we had a rich dude that bought it. We won't mention the name just in case, but he's pretty wealthy. And part of the deal was I said I would sell, but only if Jorge went with the company, because I knew that he had so much of the culture, in our company. And so you saw things rapidly. People tried to duplicate what you and I were doing, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
No, they couldn't do it. I tried to teach him everything I learned from you, but for one reason or another, they wouldn't want to take on whatever we had
culture.
to offer.
They didn't have the right culture. They didn't have our vibe going. And that's why that I really wanted to get across. It's cool for you guys because you heard it, day one. But now to hear this story a little more in depth, is culture so important to a brand and to a company and to an individual, even if you're a one-man shop. I mean, there's times where during the wintertime, we'd only carry 3 of us. During the summertime, we'd hire everybody we could, to work. And this guy went from a, detailer to a manager really quick. I'll never forget one time I thought you were going to get me sued. We're sitting in an interview, and I don't know if you remember this. And so this Latino guy comes up, we had, I don't know if I should say this or not. So, okay, I will. But I'll put it in a way that's kind of correct, but not. So in Sun Valley, the white dudes up there, we didn't call it Sun Valley. They called it Fun Valley, because when the white dudes got up there, it was all about playing. So we couldn't hire a white dude. We had Drackett's son. And Mr. Drackett was a very wealthy individual, one of our good customers. And he goes, hey, why don't you hire my son? And I'm like, oh, yeah, great. Rich white kid, this is going to be fun. That dude could work circles around you and me. He was hardcore. He reminds me a lot of you. I mean, a lot of you. He works circles around all of us. He's a car designer now.
Oh, really?
He's a car designer, dude. I think he's working on, if I'm not mistaken, the new RX-7.
Oh, wow.
I think he's the head engineer for designing the new RX-7.
Nice.
And so, we had all these experiences, but I mean, the people we work with, and a lot of people don't, we did all of Tom Hanks's work. We did all of Bruce Willis's work, Schwarzenegger, Steve Wynn. Funny story. Okay, so Steve Wynn had some security issues, right? And so this guy would do all the work, but I know Shane, his assistant, Steve Wynn. So they had a kind of a powwow with me, and they said, listen, you got to be very careful, and it kind of a threat saying, hey, don't give anybody information about, our client. And I said, well, I'm just going to clarify it now. Jorge's the guy that goes out there. If something goes wrong, it's his fault. Because I was like, man, and I came back and I was like, dude, don't tell anybody anything about his property or anything else. They're really freaked out about his security. But we had all these high-end clients, and the list goes on. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, J-Lo back in the early days. Some of them you guys didn't know that we're working on them because we couldn't say anything. But, I mean, still to today.
Is that the NASCAR racer?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. Shit, I can't think. Johnny Unser.
Yeah,
the race car. He did Indy 500. His family, the Unser family's huge. He's still up there.
Yeah.
He's still up there. So we had all these people, but now let's talk about you. Now let's go flash forward. You went through the buyout when we sold. You stayed with them, and then now you're on your own. So kind of explain what you're doing today and in your shops. And this is really cool, and this is where I want you guys to think about is don't think single-minded. Is Jorge and his wife have taken their business a little different direction. He's really followed his original passion, and he's doing different things. And it's pretty cool. So kind of explain what your shops do.
So here's first before I even thought about getting into being a shop owner and stuff like that. I used to follow money a lot. Where they pay me the most, that's where I would go. because I mean, I like money. Who doesn't like money?
Right.
But then it got to the point where I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to get to be 60, 70 years old, and I'm going to be working for somebody, and they're going to see that I'm getting old and I'm good at whatever I do, but not fast enough. And here comes another kid where, hey, he's doing the same thing as you for less money. Thanks for your help.
Mm.
And I'm going to be without anything. And the other thing is I work for shop owners that didn't treat me like Renny did. And we go back to what you said. I mean, I treat my employees the way you treat me. I when I say I never say they're my employees. I say they work with me because I work along all my employees. I even work harder than them. My mornings start at 4:20 in the morning most of the day, so I can be in either one of my shops because nowadays I have two shops, two different names, two different businesses. One of them is my exotic autos, which is my detailing business, which I started together with my lovely wife of 11, almost 12 years old. Almost 12. I mean, I'm 12 years of marriage.
I was gonna say, dude, 12 years old. Wow. Holy shit.
She's
I'm gonna step out real quick.
she Guadalupe Hurtado, my lovely wife, she's the one that pushed me to get out of the place that I was working at. Because I told her one day, I was like, you know what, this place is eating up my soul, like literally eating my soul. And I did not like that feeling. And she's like, and I remember it was September, and she's like, if you're gonna do it, get it done. And it was
Wow.
September 15th when I stopped working for that person. And for some reason, September 15th is the Mexican independence and everything.
It worked out.
It
Wow.
worked out,
That's
you know.
cool.
And then, so I went on my own and started Exotic Autos. I started it out of my garage together with my wife. And then I started it because I wanted her to do something. She wanted to work, but I didn't want her to go out and just work for anybody. You know, I told her, let's start this, and if you like it, we'll keep moving. And she liked it. Now we have a bigger shop, and then I also have a body shop. I do anything from restoration from the ground up, collision repair. I do some upholstery work, whatever comes in the door. You know,
You do it.
I get it done. Anything that is car related, I get it done.
That's awesome.
You know, so
It's really, so you followed your original dream, you know,
Yep,
of loving cars and going into it. And so now I'm gonna wrap it up with this. So I'm on the SEMA floor, and Diane comes up to me, and SEMA for me is it's crazy. I mean, it's all crazy for all of us, but I don't have 5 seconds, you know, and I love it. I'm not complaining. I love every second of it. Right. I can't wait to get back to it. Hopefully this is a normal SEMA this year, you know, but Diane comes up to me and she goes, I got a surprise for you. Don't turn around yet. And so I have no idea, you know, right? I mean, surprise for me. I mean, is it a shirt? I don't know. And I turn around, and I hadn't seen this guy since 2010. This is probably 2016, 17.
Yeah, somewhere. No, it was maybe like
16?
16. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. So it'd been 6 years since I'd seen him, and I don't know if you know this or not. You don't. I mention you in every training.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Every single training I've done,
Mm-hmm.
I mention you. So I admire this guy a lot, right? And I turn around, it's him. And I instantly give him a hug, and my eyes got all sweaty, you know? It's just, how cool is it that kind of bond and that kind of respect? I mean, how old are you?
I'm about to be 37 next month.
Yeah, so, I'm 18 years older than you, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a generation, gap, but here I adore this guy, and I guess kind of Diane and I kind of took him under our wing, and we kind of, until he could get back to his mom, and be a family. And we watched him. He's such a hard worker, but here's the moral of the story of why I adore this guy is that he's kept his, we met him when he's single. And then he he got involved with the girl, but back in his younger days, he still kept it professional, but he was definitely chasing the ladies, and the ladies were chasing him. And we loved watching him grow up, so to say.
Eh, I didn't grow up too much.
Nah, I mean either. I'm going backwards now. Bob, Chris, Dave, all those
Yeah.
guys will tell you that.
Rennie's about 12.
Yeah, I'm 12, and I love it. It's a perfect age. I might get back to 14 one of these days, but So here's the deal: is that keep yourself just like Jorge. He's got a great heart. He's very dedicated, and he's just true to people. And I think by being true to people, you're true to yourself. And it was just doing this today has been probably one of the cool. We do a lot of cool podcasts, but this is probably one of the coolest. I mean, just because we didn't make you, you made yourself, and seeing you be able to succeed, and be happy. Yeah, are you a millionaire? Not yet. You will be, over time. But here's the deal: is that you're very, very, very happy.
Oh yeah.
And I think he always has been. And so I think it's an example to all of us to appreciate what you've got, where you come from, where you are, and where you're going.
Yeah, there's this time I came into Albertsons, and then the cashier, a female, she looks me in the eye, and she's like, "Do you ever have any problems, issues, or anything with your family?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" She's like, "Well, every time every time I see you coming here, you're always smiling." I was like, "You're not my problem. I mean, if I have problems or issues, it's not your fault. I mean, everything else stays behind me. I keep everything to myself, and I gotta show happiness to everyone,
I love it. I love
So she really, she's like, well, thank you for saying that."
That's awesome. Well, we need more of that, and there's a lot of good people out there. And right now, there's a lot of tension, in the world because of what's going on. But don't let things divide us. Stay devoted to each other, and we all might have, different platforms in life, and we're at different spots, and we do different things. We have different opinions. We have different family issues and different, maybe even health issues or whatever it may be. But everybody's fighting a battle. Everybody's at home has got something going on at one point or not in your life, and we've been through those things, together. We've watched each other have struggles and everything else. You watched our last kid get born,
Yeah.
and so, you watched us have businesses and sell businesses, and we've watched you grow and prosper, become a citizen, become an entrepreneur, become a dad, become a husband, because, all these different things. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Thanks.
So thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
So
thank you for having me here.
I've been noticing watching you guys this whole time. I think I need to get some sunglasses to put on my head.
You do?
Well, I'm kind of following your footsteps because it's see, well, a lot of people don't know, and I should have said that the first day you said something about me that like hardly anybody knows. I used to have long hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I do.
I mean, long
Really long.
Yeah. And then now it's like.
Yep. Well, I did too, right?
Yeah.
I had long hair too. I did. I had really long hair.
Hey, Renny was a hair model.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still can be, but it's on my chest, So, well, hey, I want to thank. There's a lot of people coming in here and commenting, and we want to thank everybody for coming in.
I got our good buddy William Lara. He's got a special request.
What's that?
He wants to see you two hug.
Oh, I'll hug him. I'll hug him, man. Yeah.
There you go, William.
You don't have to ask us twice. We're huggers. We always have been. So, all right, guys, we're going to get back to work. So thanks to you guys for taking some time out of your training. This is an important one. I love that. Introduce you guys. These guys just slayed it on it. We had some nasty interiors, and they slayed it. So we're going to go in and finish up the coatings on the interiors, and we're going straight into sanding next, and we've got a really busy 3 days. We'll see you up here tomorrow, Chris.
Yep.
And so other than that, hey, everybody have a powerful week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was again, thank you.
Well, thank you.
This was really fun. This is something that I've really wanted to take, and couldn't wait for you to get here, to do it. So pretty cool. All right, guys, you guys take care. Have a powerful week. Take care of each other. We'll see you soon. Be careful.
Yep.